Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sop. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Joshua Water in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I'd like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akims, and to the women and children in the ancient Hebrew language. Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Ha Rokah Kodash Mahamah. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawan. Salutation to the Akims who are the four corners of the earth. And to the women and children, Shalom. Okay, well, a lot is going on, right? We having our people, Jake, right? Children's being taken out at the age of 18 just because they stole the car, or so they say, or just because he's carrying a gun, or he pointed a gun, so they say, right? And then on top of that, we have a father who saw his son's life taken away by a police officer, and they said that he ran over somebody with his car who is a retired officer, right? So they say. Now, of course, Pakistan and India. But it's the hands of the Edomites are all over the world, right? So it tells this lesson, a fugitive and a vagabond. I want to remind our people, the so-called Negros, Latino Americans, and speckled birds, that the Edomites are standing on stolen land, right? And they're going to keep doing this criminal activity, and they're going to, decide what they want to call it. So I'm going to play a little bit of this India and Pakistan war that's going on. Here we go.
Spiraling out of control, two nuclear countries on the verge of a massive war. Where did this start? How did this start? And did Western intelligence, such a dirty word, did they play a role in the latest terror attack in Kashmir? Did Western intelligence stir this whole thing up? This is really the nugget I think we've been looking for and wondering how this evolved and what is the latest on all of this. Let's ask former CIA analyst Larry Johnson, who just wrote a whole piece about this, asking the very question, did Western intelligence play a role in the latest terror attack in Kashmir? So we wanted to go right to the source, former CIA analyst Larry Johnson. Larry, great to see you. So I think this was a lot of Americans trying to wrap their head around how did this start? Was just some sort of a organic terrorist attack, and now India's firing missiles in, and Pakistan says we are prepared to use nuclear weapons as of just a few minutes ago, saying they are prepared to use nuclear weapons. So did the West have anything to do with this?
I think so. I think it's highly likely. Look, most people, when they hear about Kashmir, they're thinking it's either a sweater they're wearing or they're listening to Led Zeppelin, okay? It's one of the two. But this Kashmir region, which is up in the northwest corner of India, has been it's a legacy of colonial rule by the Brits. When they bailed out, they divided it up sort of arbitrarily, giving 1/3 to Pakistan, 2/3 to India, and it's been a sore point of contention ever since. But Pakistan's relationship with U.S. intelligence is profound and deep. Recall that one of the early CIA programs was running U-2 airplanes, the spy planes over the Soviet Union. Gary Powers got shot down, I think it was '62. Well, those planes were based out of Pakistan. We're running them out of.
Well, there you go, right? So the Edomites, they're going to keep doing what they have been programmed to do, the wickedness, not only around the world, but also what they're doing to America, to our people, right? Now that, what's his name, President Trump made immunity to the officers, that they can do whatever they want, and that, there's no consequences. But anyway, I want to go back to the Edomites, right? Their history of the past. I want to go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And he came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Right? The story of Cain and Abel. At one time the Edomites, right? Esau was our brother. But you got to remember that many years ago, Cain murdered his own brother because of jealousy, greed, envy, right? And wickedness. Okay? Verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Now remember, he's older than Abel, right? So he don't want to be taking care of his younger brother, but he hated him, right? I want to go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Keeping it short, I got to go to camp tomorrow. It says here, thou shalt not kill. Well, if you remove the word kill, because we can kill, okay, it's only logical. You can defend yourself. Thou shalt not murder. And that's what Cain did, right? There's an old saying that if you started wrong, you finish wrong, right? But Cain, not only he started wrong, he keeps on doing it, okay? And then when our people, Jake, to be honest with you, 2/3, get tired of all the wickedness, right? All the abusiveness, it's going to catch up. So now the Edomites, if this man's being sincere and he wrote a book, so I mean, can't be any more sincere than that. Yeah, you know, the Edomites are going around the world pushing for war, right? They got no choice, okay? They have to start war in order to bring the population down and to keep, you know, the wealth that they keep stealing around the world. I want to go to 1 John chapter 3. Give me a minute, I'm looking for it. Chapter 3. Verse 12. I'll start with verse 12. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. There you go. Isn't that going on today? That our people are working righteously, right? Around the world. But yet, the Edomites, right? The same spirit that Cain has, the Edomites have, okay? They cannot tolerate to see our people, you know, rising. It really bothers them big time. Because, you know, I keep reminding our people that the Edomites are standing on stolen land. Verse 13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. Don't the world hate our people, the so-called Negros, Latino, Negro, and speckled birds? It's that some of our people are so civilized, right, indoctrinated, that they don't see it because Yahweh Shin Yahshua did not give them the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the heart of understanding. Verse 14. We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. He that loved not his brother abides in death. And the Edomites don't love us. They've been showing that throughout the years, right? I mean, look at right now. Right now, they're getting ready to upgrade slavery to the so-called Negros, Latinos, Negros, and speckled birds. Right? They want to bring the MOTV, the charagma, the sea hip. They want to turn us into cyborgs. Right? They want us to unite with the internet, which they want to put it inside of us to patent our DNA. That is wicked. That is Frankenstein stuff. Right? If you ever saw the real black and white Frankenstein TV in the 70s, you know what I mean. Verse 15, whosoever hates his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him. Yeah, the Edomites don't have eternal life. They just keep pretending, and they keep demanding that we have to follow and hold on to their belief system. Well, it's not working no more. Right? Our people are waking up. Okay? And the Lion in Judah, okay, is also waking up. 2/3 at least, right? Because we who are doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we are not sent out to get violent and to pick up arms against the Edomites. We're waiting for Yahweh Shai to give us spiritual Superman powers so that we can come back and kick their ass and remove their kingdom from the face of the earth. There's no big secret with that, okay? Let's cut the bullshit out. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 4, verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cries unto me from the ground. Right? Because Cain, they don't want to, confess what he did to begin with. I mean, come on. He murdered his baby brother, all because his baby brother was righteous and did the right thing. Right? I want to go to verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Yeah. Edom, the so-called Caucasian, not so-called, the Caucasian people, the so-called white people are cursed. And they know it. Okay? But when you speak truth, what they want to do? They want to throw you in prison, or they want to take your life away. Well, our people are getting tired of being afraid of the Edomites. And we're calling out Yahweh Shai to come back and kick their ass. I want to go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast what? Hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I command thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow, when you soar, Salakia, shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. So, as you can see, once Cain did this wickedness and passed it on to our women, Eve, right? They pass it on to their husbands. Okay, so things have to get back in order, and since this world, things are not going to get back in order, that's why Yahushua is coming back, to put everything in order. Okay? I want to go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 5. And surely your blood of your lives would I require at the hands of every beast, would I require it, and at the hands of men, at the hands of every man's brother, would I require the life of man. Yeah. Edomites keep deliving our people, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds. They don't care if you're a woman, They don't care if you're a man, a father, a wife, a mother, a grandpa, a grandma, a son and daughter, a baby. Right? They always can justify their wickedness. Well, now, Pakistan, right, and India are having a serious war, which, that's going to promote and push eventually Russia, right, to also keep reacting to this wickedness that Americans have their hands in the cookies around the world creating war. World War III is around the corner, is what I'm saying. Verse 6, who is shed men's blood? By men shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. Edomites are well known for taking people's lives away when they don't want to participate in the wickedness of the Edomites. Okay? I'm going to leave it with Genesis chapter 4, verse 12. This is the curse that the Edomites, from Cain, Salakia, Esau, and then the Edomites. Same spirit. This is the curse that they got. Verse 12 from Genesis 4. When thou tilt the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Let's see what that means, okay? Here we go. Fugitive, a person who has escaped from a place or is hiding, especially to avoid arrest or prosecution. How long the Edomites have been running around the world hiding their true identity, right? And demanding that their law, right, their wisdom, that everybody, the whole world should follow. Nobody's fighting for that no more. A vagabond, a person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. Wait a minute. Our people are losing their homes and losing their jobs. Right? But the question arises, isn't the Edomite standing on stolen land, pretending that they have a home and a job? How can the home be theirs when it's standing on stolen land? How can a job be theirs when they're standing in stolen land? So this war that's going on with Pakistan and India is only going to get worse, is what I want to say. I hope that this was edifying, and with that I say Shalom. Amén. No me... ¿Qué pasó aquí? ¿Me lo hizo otra vez? Increíble.